Welcome to today's presentation. My name is Alice Hogue and I'll be your instructor. Over the next 6 months, you are going to hear me say that before every webinar. And so I just wanted you to have an opportunity to connect the face with the voice. It also gives me the opportunity to welcome you to the course and to give you just an overview of the course. Some topics that are covered in Canvas, but I just wanted to go over them in person with you. First of all, I want to say this is a very good time, despite the current oil prices, to enter into the oil and gas industry, especially as a land professional. And let me tell you why. Statistics show that over 50% of land professionals are 55 years and older. 50%. So greater than half of the current population of land professionals is going to be leaving soon. Now, the reason that classes like this are so important is because there's a kind of a learning gap between, when they had the bust in the 1980s, they stopped hiring. So then once the boom started up again, they started hiring again. Well, now there's this huge gap between the experienced people and the people coming in new to the business. So this class is designed to bridge that gap so that, you can learn through the classes instead of having to take the time of a busy seasoned professional to learn the basics and a little bit of the advanced stuff as well. Now, the most important thing I think about being a professional landman that you have to recognize is that it is legal in nature. A lot of the things that we're going to be covering in class are laws. We cover contract law, we cover probate law, we cover real property law, we cover oil and gas law, just to name a few. So the focus of the course really is going to be on the various laws that impact the work of a land professional. Now the text that we're going to use is this Oil and Gas Land Reference Guide. This is what the American Association of Professional Landmen use, the organization use for people to study for their certification exams. So we're going to use this as the textbook. Now, I don't teach from this. In other words, I don't teach cookbook style from this text. So they have a chapter in my PowerPoint slides match exactly that chapter. I do all my own independent research. And so what I want you to get from here is, and I always include the key terms and terminology and theories that they want you to learn in my webinars. But by using the text, it gives you an opportunity to look at it from a different perspective. One of the concerns or issues that I have with this text was it's written by experts. And that's great if you're an expert. But if you're new to the field, a lot of it can seem pretty confusing. So my job is to use my webinars to give you the foundation that you need so that you can make sense of the text that was written by an expert. So that's it. And we do have reading assignments that come out of that. You can either read it before or after the webinar, completely up to you. I would recommend before, then you can kind of have that foundation you need to understand a lot of the terminology that they're using. What else? You can also, if you don't have your book yet. If you don't have your book yet, don't sweat it. We are going to send it to you. Midland College is going to send it to you. And if you don't get it, you can always catch up. There's not really going to be anything out of the text that's not going to be covered in a webinar. So you're not missing out on anything. You're just getting a chance to look at it from a different perspective. Okay, a couple of other things I wanted to talk to you about. One is webinars. We just kind of mentioned that. But the way we have it set up is that there is a live webinar once a week. And in that live webinar, you can, I can see that you're there. You can raise your hand and ask a question, and I can answer it in real time. A lot of times we have a lot of good discussion that goes on at the end of the webinar because we allow other people to make comments or questions at the end of it. So I think the live webinar is really a great way to go. But we understand that everybody's schedule doesn't accommodate a class at 11 o'clock in the morning. And so we want to give you the option to decide at your own discretion what is going to work for you. So we have these recorded already. And you can just click on that link at any time and watch these webinars whenever you're ready to watch them. but at least try once to watch the live webinar. And I'll also let y'all know I have some free webinars coming up at the in the middle of this month, and those will be at 6 o'clock in the evening. So that might be another option for you. Then the other thing is the discussion boards. After every webinar, I'm going to have a discussion topic for you. And it's usually an opinion question. I'm trying to simulate the conversation that would happen in a person-to-person classroom. And since I can't see you, and you really can only see me, it's really hard for me to read whether or not the concepts are coming across or not. So in these online forums, it gives me a chance to kind of see, did I hit the right points on the webinar? Does it make sense? And the other aspect of it is, and you will learn this very quickly, is that this is a very small industry and networking is key. First job I got out of law school was with Exxon. Every other job after that, I knew someone in the company. So networking is very key, and that's another reason why I want you to post. One of your first assignments is to upload a picture of yourself and then to give us a brief introduction about yourself. Networking is key. At one point in my career, I was the human resources director at a marketing company, and I can tell you that if we had a position that was open for hire and I had a stack of resumes on my desk and someone came into my office and said, hey, I know this person, I took a class with this person, or I worked with this person, they're really great, then that resume would go to the top of the pile. That's not fair, it's not right, but when you're trying to sift through a lot of resumes, that's just the way the world works. So I'm telling you that because I want you to network. We're also going to have field trips. These are going to be self-guided field trips or virtual field trips. The first one is, for example, that I want you to actually go to the county courthouse in your county where your property is located or where you live. If you live in an apartment, doesn't matter. Just go to the county courthouse and ask for the land records, and just take some time and pull those books and see. An idea of the steps that a landman would take to run the chain of title. And then you're going to write a report on that. And it's just my way of kind of getting you in the door so that you won't be intimidated by the courthouse and, see how logically it's set up. So that'll be one. And the other one is I'm going to have you watch a video of someone walking around a well. It's called the booth number 1A well. And I want you to write, I just want you to capture the major components that they talk about in there and write like a 3-page paper on that. So those are the types of field trips. They should be on your own. They should be self-guided. So there shouldn't be any, if there's anything that starts taking up an enormous amount of your time, let me know, because this course is designed for working professionals. And so I will try to accommodate you in any way I can. And along those lines, I just want to say that it's not lost on me that the reason that a lot of you are taking this course is because you want to provide for your families. And I take that very seriously. And that's why I'm very thorough in the course. I want this to be a great online course. And if you're new to online courses, don't worry, everybody's new to online courses. But I really hope that this will help you. So look at the introduction to Canvas that I have out there, and look at the about the webinars. Now the webinars you do have to register for, and there's a link in the announcements tab. You click on that link, it'll get you to register. And then the day before and 1 hour before the webinar, it will remind you that there's a webinar. And when you want to go to that webinar, you click in the link in the reminder email, and that will take you straight to me. So that's how the webinar works. Let me see if there's anything else I want to go over with you. Discussion boards. Assignments. There are going to be assignments and projects that are due. The booth number 1A well that I was just telling you about, those kind of assignments. In module 2, we do running the chain of title. And I also want to tell you that the way I have these courses structured is, and you can take them out of sequence, that's not a big deal, but I've got them structured in the order that a landman would do their work. So to begin with, you got to know the fundamentals, you got to know real property law. The next thing you do, you want to go lease from that landowner, but first you got to find them. So course 2 is on chaining title. Once you have the name of the mineral owner, then you go to lease them. So course 3 is all about the oil and gas lease. And then course 4 is on oil and gas law. And course 6 is contract law. And then the very last, 5 is contract law, and 6 is federal laws. So again, very intensive on the laws. I can always be reached at my cell phone number. It's 832-298-7791. 832-298-7791. I will also respond to text. You can call me on the phone. You know, I really want to make myself available to you. And so one of the reasons is because if you were in a classroom, you would just raise your hand and ask the question. So I know that's one of the limitations of online classes. And so I will be very prompt in responding to your questions. I want to welcome you to the course again, finally, and I really look forward to having y'all in the class.